right now at 6. A day we'll never forget.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Donald Trump taking the oath and making a promise.
Together, we will make America great again.
The new First Family by his side. Team coverage tonight on our new American President. And good evening, everyone. It is a new day in Washington and in American history.
The celebrations continue in our nation's capital, and Local 10 News has you covered. Our own Glenna Milberg standing by live along the parade route.
But we begin with Janine Stanwood with more on today's inauguration ceremony. Janine.
Hi, good evening, Rick.
Hello, everybody, from the National Mall, where people are still here taking in the sights and the sounds. Just a few blocks up the street from where we are, that's the parade, which is going on right now. We want to show you some live pictures of all of the pomp and circumstance. You know, the chairman of the inaugural committee said this day wasn't about celebrating a victory, but celebrating the peaceful transfer of power. Newly sworn-in President Donald Trump on the streets of Washington, D.C. for his inaugural parade, a town that he vowed to change.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts administering the oath of office to the 45th president. It was a day of ceremony and rhetoric as the new commander-in-chief began his job. Mr. Trump spent the night at the presidential guest house, beginning his day at a prayer service with his family and Mike Pence.
Mr. President what?
Meanwhile, now former President Obama spending his final moments in the Oval Office and following a tradition by leaving a note behind for the next president. When the incoming and outgoing families met there for coffee and tea, Melania Trump bringing a gift for Michelle Obama, a box from Tiffany's.
Michael Richard Pence.
Vice President Pence was the first to take the oath of office administered by Justice Clarence Thomas. And after President Trump was sworn in, too, it was time for the long-awaited inaugural address.
Because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
President Trump's speech hit notes that were conciliatory, but also promising not to forget those who felt abandoned by politicians.
January 20th, 2017. Will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again.
President Trump also hit notes that were familiar on the campaign trail.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action.
Mr. Trump taking aim at the political establishment gathered to welcome him to Washington. The peaceful transition of power from President 44 to 45 now complete.
It's all about the parties now, and that's happening as we speak.
And in fact, President Trump got to work signing a proclamation calling today a National Day of Patriotism and a waiver clearing the way for his defense secretary picked to run the Pentagon if confirmed. And we have learned that this afternoon he has been confirmed. Mr. Trump then attended a luncheon where there was a surprise standing ovation. Listen. We're actually told that President Trump singled out Bill and Hillary Clinton for attending, saying that he was honored that they showed up and that he has so much respect for them. So no doubt it was a conciliatory tone, a sign of unity, and perhaps, at least for today, it is a sign of things to come. We're live in Washington, D.C. I'm Janine Stanwood, Local 10 News.
Janine, before we let you go, we know you served in Washington as a staffer before you became a staffer here at Local 10. The inaugural ball coming up tonight, you had a chance to do that back in the day. What is that going to be like for the president, vice president, and for all involved?
Well, I attended one of the inaugural balls that happened here in D.C. in 2001. It was a lot of fun. I was young and wore a cheap dress that I thought looked good, but I think for the president and the first lady and the families who are attending these balls, it's a time to let loose a little bit. But of course, it's their sort of first official presentation as a first couple, the first dance. So while it may be fun, there's no doubt a lot of pressure on them as well.
Janine, we love that input. And come on, we all know that you look great in any dress, no matter the cost. Thank you so much. Right there from the National Mall. And time now to bring in our senior political reporter, Michael Putney. He's right here with us as we look at these live pictures of the inaugural parade.
Well, it has been an extraordinary day. I can't remember one like it in my career as a political reporter, and this is a utterly remarkable moment for Donald Trump and for the country. It certainly signals a new direction, a more direct kind of government. He says the government has been taken away from the establishment and returned to the people. We are waiting to see what that means.
Michael, was there a moment at all today that really stood out for you as we sort of recap and take a look back at the swearing-in ceremony all the way up until the very beginning of the day with the Obamas transitioning out of the White House?
Well, the moment I think that sticks in my memory is the one where in the inaugural speech, President Trump listed a litany of problems in the country, including, he said something like a education system that is lush with cash but fails to educate our students. I didn't understand what that meant. On the other hand, we'll find out what it means. But then he said the time for this carnage is over. And he vowed for a new direction for government and for the people in this country. The word carnage is something that just simply, I think, probably well, I've never heard a president in this kind of setting use a word like that.
Okay, our Michael Putney will hear from you very shortly. Once again, thanks a lot. As President Trump takes office, former President Obama is preparing for life after the White House. President Obama and Mrs. Obama waved to President Trump and the new First Lady before boarding Marine One and heading to Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. Obama then said a final goodbye.
And we look forward to continuing this journey with all of you. And I can't wait to see what you do next. And I promise you I'll be right there with you. All right? God bless you. Thank you.
And after those final words today, the former president and First Lady Michelle Obama boarded the presidential plane for the last time and took off for a brief vacation in California.
Our team coverage continues. As President Trump was sworn into office, protesters took to the streets in Washington, some of them violently.
Local 10 News reporter Glenna Milberg continues our coverage now from the nation's capital. Glenna.
And from a very loud parade route, Calvin and Victor, there were 70-plus demonstrations and protests that law enforcement actually expected, and they did know at least one group did plan to do things that were disruptive. I will say it's important to note, of all of the protests that have gone on outside, especially this perimeter, all of them were loud, some of them were nasty, but they were peaceful. But there were a few that really did turn criminal.
You misogynist pig! You racist dog! You racist dog! He's our president! He's our president!
A clash of American cultures continued through the inaugural ceremony. Mostly peaceful, but in several cases violent and destructive. Relatively few caused pockets of chaos, vandalizing businesses and cars just outside the secure perimeter where the nation's leaders ceremoniously transferred the power of the presidency.
We share one heart, one home, and one glorious destiny.
Now President Trump telegraphed a unifying message. Opponents in the street didn't hear it and don't buy it. Masses of people try to blockade the public entrances into the secure perimeter.
I mean, I guess they can do what protests, but that sort of teed me off a little bit because this is what I want to see. Look at our men in blue out there, our servicemen. It's gorgeous. You know, I came a long way.
Among tens of thousands of security officers, contingents from Miami-Dade, Miami, and Miami Beach police departments are deputized as U.S. Marshals. You are looking at a live picture of the inaugural parade in full swing. So much later than it was supposed to be. The crowds have dwindled. We did hear, back to the protests, there were several dozen arrests. I don't want to quote a number because I think that's in flux right now, but there were many arrests for things like rioting. Some of the police here tell us. Security, as you know, extremely tight, as usual for an inaugural, and an extra layer this time. I did see some of the internal security reports before the inaugural. There was never a specific threat of anything like terrorism, but there were a lot of law enforcement here worried about what we know as lone wolf attackers. that right now, as of now, everything is calm and peaceful as the parade continues. I'm Glenna Milberg, live in Washington, D.C., Local 10 News.
Glenna, thank you. Those numbers can always change, but at last check, it was around 95 people who had been arrested in those protests today. Glenna, thank you so much.